let's be real. We've all seen those picture-perfect couples in movies and on TV, but life, well, life is a whole lot messier. So today, we're going to dive into some of the most common and sometimes totally overlooked mistakes that can seriously damage a marriage. But more importantly, we're going to talk about how to fix them.
Okay, first things first, let's just get this out of the way. The idea of a perfect, always agreeable, argument-free marriage? It's a complete myth. Honestly, having an argument every now and then can actually be pretty healthy. It's a way to let off some steam and just be direct about what's on your mind, which is so much better than letting things fester.
So, yeah, small disagreements are totally normal. But some mistakes, they cross a line. They become the real deal breakers. You know, the kinds of actions that do so much damage that a simple "I'm sorry" just isn't going to cut it. These are the behaviors that if you don't catch them, can really start to unravel a marriage.
So here's our game plan. We'll start by talking about why that myth of perfection is so dangerous. Then we'll get into 3 major trouble spots: communication breakdowns, violating personal boundaries, and having unrealistic expectations. And don't worry, we'll wrap it all up with a clear path forward.
You know, just accepting that no relationship is perfect is probably the single best foundation you can build on. Why? Well, because chasing that Hollywood fantasy just sets you up for disappointment. Even worse, it creates all this pressure that leads directly to the mistakes we're about to talk about. The fear of having a fight can lead to lies, and wanting a perfect partner can lead to trying to control them.
Think about it this way. Poor communication is like a tiny crack in the foundation of your house. It starts small, but if you ignore it, over time, it can threaten the whole structure. And we're not just talking about shouting matches here. Some of the most damaging mistakes happen in complete silence.
Oh, the harmless white lie. We've all been there, right? You tell a tiny little fib just to avoid a minor conflict. You think it's not a big deal. What they don't know won't hurt them, and it just keeps the peace. You totally rationalize it. But what's the real cost of that seemingly innocent little lie? This is where you see the huge disconnect. The intention is small, right? Just avoid a silly fight. But the impact? Oh, the impact is massive. Because when the truth comes out, and let's be honest, it usually does, it doesn't just make your partner doubt that one little thing. It makes them doubt everything. It plants this powerful, corrosive seed of doubt about the entire relationship.
So the fix here is simple, but that doesn't mean it's easy. You have to practice honesty. Even when the truth feels awkward or uncomfortable, being upfront builds that rock-solid foundation of trust. It's the difference between, say, hiding a credit card bill to avoid an argument and saying, "Hey, I kind of went overboard this month. We need to figure out a plan." That conversation might be tough, for sure, but it builds a partnership instead of suspicion.
Look, getting on each other's nerves is part of the deal. But the second you cross that line from disagreeing into disrespect, it is so hard to come back from that. Insults, accusations, those words stick around. They can permanently change how you see each other. It's a violation of trust that's a lot louder than a white lie, and often way more damaging.
And here are some very specific lines you just don't cross. Using your partner's past vulnerabilities against them in a fight? That's a low blow. Going through their phone because you're feeling suspicious? That's an invasion, or just plain taking them for granted. These aren't just arguments. They are fundamental attacks on respect and trust.
And this whole idea of respect, it goes way beyond just the words we use. A great marriage is a partnership between 2 whole, separate individuals, not one person being swallowed up by the other. When those personal boundaries start to get blurry or even worse, violated, it can lead to some really destructive patterns.
Now, this one can be super subtle at first. It often starts with one partner trying to change the other. And it might even be disguised as them helping or caring. But its real goal? It's control. So how in the world do you tell the difference between healthy encouragement and unhealthy control? Here's a really clear way to think about it. A controlling partner isn't just nudging you to be better. They are demanding that you change who you fundamentally are. Your core beliefs, your values, your personality, all to fit into their ideal box.
See the difference? Let's get active together is a shared goal. It's about us. But you have to change how you dress. That's a demand. It's about you. Supporting your partner's dream job, even if it means some sacrifice, is healthy. But trying to limit their dreams just to keep them close? That's control. Remember, you married them for who they are, so let them be that person.
Hey, just because you're married doesn't mean you suddenly stop being a social human being. Trying to stop your partner from seeing their friends isn't protecting the relationship. It's actually starving them of a really necessary outlet. Those friendships are a healthy space for them to vent and get perspective, which, in the end, is good for the marriage. You know, a lot of that need for control,
or that fear of your partner having their own life, it often comes from our third major problem area, having completely unrealistic expectations. So much conflict is born from the gap between what we think marriage should be and what it actually is. Let's just go ahead and bust the myth of the 1950s TV family where everybody likes the same things and agrees on everything all the time. That is not real life. It is totally normal and actually really healthy to have different interests, different opinions, and different hobbies. In fact, that's what keeps things interesting. So instead of seeing your differences as some kind of a red flag for incompatibility, try to embrace them. It gives both of you the freedom to be your authentic selves without worrying about being criticized. True partnership isn't about two people becoming one person. It's about two different people choosing to build one life together. Oh boy, here's a classic that creates so much resentment. The expectation that one person is responsible for, well, everything. Whether it's the money, the chores, or all the emotional heavy lifting. That is completely and totally unreasonable. A marriage is not a one-person show with a supporting actor.
The fix here is as simple as it is powerful. Remember, you are a team. Period. Responsibilities have to be shared. Of course, the balance might shift now and then depending on what life throws at you, but the core principle has to be that you are in this together, working toward the same goals.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of potential landmines here. But the goal isn't to scare you or make you paranoid. It's to empower you. Because just recognizing these mistakes is the absolute first step to avoiding them and to building a much stronger, more resilient partnership. When you boil it all down, all the fixes we've talked about really come back to these 4 essential pillars. Practice honest communication, even when it's hard. Maintain mutual respect, always. Encourage each other's individuality. And never, ever forget that you are a team. These aren't just buzzwords. They are the active daily foundations of a healthy marriage.
And that brings us to the end. I want to leave you with this question to really think about. Based on everything we've just covered, what is one small, tangible change you can make, starting today, to strengthen one of these pillars in your own relationship?